Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece, basically One Piece episode 855. So, let's start off with the major thing about the episode, which is that the fact that Katakuri has basically awakened his Katakuri in this episode. Pretty much has, with the reveal that Katakuri has an awakened devil fruit, pretty much. And to be honest, while it is a very epic reveal, in terms of catching me off guard, with the reveal that he actually has an awakening, yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't really surprised all that much, even when it was revealed in the manga. And honestly, I kind of had the same reaction even when it was revealed in the manga, but at the point that. But by pretty much the point of the reveal that he had an awakening, Katakuri had already just been built up as such a beast that it seemed like kind of a natural course for him to pretty much have an awakening. So yeah, as far as the awakening itself, I can't say I was really like shocked or taken off guard by it, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know if many other people. I think I remember that there were a few other people who were maybe taken off guard, but by the fact that he had an awakening, but yeah, as far as me, I was like, oh yeah, he has an awakening. Yeah, I can buy that. That was pretty much my reaction during the whole thing. Having said that though, the one thing I really liked about this episode is how we're starting to see the weakness with Katakuri's future sight, which is that he can really only see so far into the future when it comes to predicting his opponent's moves, and normally something like that wouldn't be a big deal, but because his opponent is Luffy, that there's pretty much a limit as to how much he's actually predicting of what Luffy is gonna do. The rest is just pure guesswork and letting his natural instincts of what to do to prevent and what to do in order to prevent in order to shorten Luffy's mobility is. So yeah, I do like how it is kind of establishing that, yeah, there is a definite weakness to definitely to his future sight power, and yet despite this reveal, despite that, my favorite part about this fight, and Katakuri even says it himself, is that at every turn, even if Luffy had the upper hand for a short time, Katakuri during this whole fight has not been underestimating Luffy at all. Like, he's every action that Katakuri has taken was for the express purpose of eliminating Luffy as quickly as possible. Hell, just like the mere fact that Katakuri unleashed his awakening against Luffy still so early in the fight, and yeah, it is still pretty early in the fight, guys, and stopped Luffy from pretty much going Gear 4 proves that he sees Luffy as a legitimate threat, despite how powerful the former actually is in comparison. It's really telling when it's kind of really telling when even acknowledging how much of a gap there is between the two, Katakuri is still in a way pretty much scared of Luffy and his abilities. Like, it's really kind of shocking that someone as powerful as Katakuri is still basically afraid of Luffy's potential and what he can do in the future. So yeah, I really gotta respect Katakuri for that, and I really like how much different that this actually makes Katakuri compared to every other enemy that Luffy has faced in the past. Like, even the thing is, even if we do know that Luffy isn't gonna lose in the end and he's gonna come out on top against Katakuri, it's still nice to know that at least that at least in every single fight he's been in, at least we can say that now that this is one fight where the villain actually treats Luffy as a legitimate threat almost right off the bat. So yeah, I just love it for that. And it's also a lesson. I'm glad that pretty much Tamago managed to drill into Mont-d'Or's head, because I'm sorry, Mont-d'Or was acting like a total moron in this episode, and I get why. It was meant to serve as a bit of a parallel of how Katakuri was treating Luffy, but it really shows that in Mont-d'Or's case, this entire time, he's not really been doing anything he's been doing to stop the Straw Hats. Everything he's been doing up to this point has been to save face and preserve the Big Mom Pirate's reputation. That's it, in that sense, it's blatantly telling that dude, that is like the farthest thing you should be thinking about when dealing with Luffy and his crew, or hell, just anyone associated with the Straw Hats for that matter. especially at this stage in the game. Although I do like how this actually I do like how in a certain way that this whole fight. That pretty much Tamago actually reprimanding Mont-d'Or in this case, it actually did kind of develop his character a little bit. So in that sense, I definitely think that there's definite merit in order to be taken away from pretty much basically from the fact that as small as it was, Mont-d'Or still ended up getting even just a tiny little bit of development from this. However, one thing that still kind of irked me, even knowing that the Mont-d'Or was kind of received a bit of development, the one thing that still kind of irked me even beyond that, and it was still a stupid move on his part, which is the fact that how much of a gullible dumbass he was being when he basically mistook I think it was Niji for one of the Big Mom pirates. I mean, seriously, I know the Big Mom has a big family, but you'd think they'd be able to recognize each other's voices. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be one of those things that I think is definitely gonna come back to bite. Gonna come back and bite Mont-d'Or in the ass, but like. Seriously, it's really one of those things where I'm like, dude, what the hell? You couldn't recognize that was Niji's voice of the Germa family. Like, it's I remember, and the thing is, I think of reading that in the manga, but I didn't think about it much at the time. But looking back on this in the anime, I'm like, yeah, what the fuck were you? What the hell were you thinking, Mont-d'Or? Like you couldn't. That's looking back, that scene really kind of irks me because you'd think he'd be able. I don't know. Maybe the argument is that there's just so much going on that Mont-d'Or is distracted or something. But yeah, you'd think he'd be able to recognize the voice of someone that you tried to kill just recently. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird scene for me. It's a weird scene for me. It's a weird scene for me for sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that scene with Custard chasing Capone was an anime only scene, I believe. But either way, I thought it was a nice little tidbit that showed that Luffy and I thought it was a nice little tidbit that was added to the episode because it actually showed that Luffy and the others aren't the only ones having issues, and it just kind of gives a bit of brief background on what their situation is and how likely it's going to be that they're going to get away from this, because right now it seems like they're just kind of holding off the Big Mom pirates and trying in their attempts to escape. But it was I like that little scene because it just added a little more to the story, and it gave them that extra little bit of spotlight too that I don't think that and it gave them that extra little moment of spotlight too. I thought so it was nice in that respect, and even if they went right back to escaping again, and the funny thing is, in terms of like. This is something I've actually noticed for a while, and not just in this episode. But the funny thing is, one thing I've really found interesting about the anime as of late is that when an episode focuses on those anime only moments, it's a lot more entertaining than it ever was before. And don't get me wrong, I can I can understand how people might still think that those anime-only moments are kind of slow, make the episode slow and sluggish, but at the same time, if you compare, like, any anime-only moment we've gotten in the past, compared to, like, majority of the anime-only moments we've gotten recently, like, yeah, those moments are a lot more entertaining here than they were before, and I mean, if I had to assume as to why that is, I think a good chunk of it probably has to do with the director. Like, I think One Piece has in fact for a bit gotten a different director on board, so I guess the guy just kind of has a bit more of a creative mind in terms of how to definitely use those anime only moments, or just what he needs to do in order to try and make them more entertaining. I don't know, but yeah, so guess it's good to know that. Now, I don't talk about the preview that much, but in this case I do, because there's the preview for this episode. It did a good job at hiding the details of Katakuri's, I think it was merienda. Yeah, the merienda, Katakuri's merienda. And the thing about Katakuri's little merienda, I think it translates to like snack time or something. Trust me, it's one of those things where in typical Oda fashion, he always has to find some goofy way to add in order to add a quirk to his characters. And you're about to see the one he gave to Katakuri in the next week. Although my only concern is I hope it isn't gonna extend this scene involving it too much, because like I don't want. I assume this is just their way of teasing us for it, but I hope that isn't gonna, that the title means it isn't gonna focus a good deal of time on that. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AniList, Crunchyroll. Death Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.